I like how
there's a lot of people in this room.
More going up there too.
I'm trying to manage this
That'd be so
camera, and I think we're live. Are we? Okay, cool. There's a microphone. It's plugged in here. There's power over there. There's people here. There's a accordion here. For God's sake, who knows the words?
I know the ending.
I know the beginning part.
Well, we
Okay,
changed
I know
the clapping part.
Is.
It.
Oh gosh, I'm nervous. Why? Is.
It.
Ray. My name.
This is broadcasting.
It's time for.
Shenanigans Live.
Now, the next verse is exactly the same. I hope you get this right. Okay, everyone.
This is broadcasting.
It's time for. Wrong button.
Shenanigans Live.
Everyone. I don't even have a rhyme yet. Gosh. What am I doing? Katie's gonna sit there and stare at me awkwardly.
I mean, you could all stare at you awkwardly.
This is awkward for me. I don't like this. I'm losing my notes. It's FanExpo weekend, and we got like 5-6 people around me. Count for me.
Oh, you rhymed that.
Did I rhyme it?
Yes.
I wasn't thinking. Is it recording?
It's broadcasting.
Time for the buns of jam butts That's the jam butts.
It's confusing.
It's Wednesday. There you go. Shenanigans Live. It is Wednesday. I hope our audio is working. I hope the screen is working. Katie's here.
I'm here.
We have a bunch of people here, actually, and if they would take the time to introduce themselves in order of importance, go.
Oh.
Well, me. I'm Jack. I'm from Vancouver. I am Jakface, aka Molly. Yeah. Hey, what's up? We drop comics. Things are fun and cool.
She specializes in studly muffin dudes.
Studly muffins and butts and all sorts of happiness.
What's your Tumblr?
I'm Leslie, aka Angel Creations. I am also a drawer.
Drawer? Like a drawer?
I clunky drawing. Yeah. And I'm here. And I'm really excited to be here.
And also, we all quickly learned that you're an expert at all accents ever.
You were so
All accent, I've done two.
I mean, there's only two. They
There
work
is
pretty
only
awesome.
two. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I do a pretty good Southern accent. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah.
Three?
But like 5. I can do
Oh,
good.
I'm bragging now.
Yep.
Go. I'm Michelle. Go.
Hi, Michelle.
No!
You can't do
draw
that.
comics.
You can't do that.
Describe.
Yeah, you do. Your comics are really good.
I do.
Are they secrets?
No, they're not.
They're not secrets. She posted them twice on 2 different blogs.
Yes,
So
Yeah,
they're
those are not secrets.
They're not secrets. No, I just
The
do
blogs are
slice of life stuff. Comics.
Nice.
Slice of life. And what?
What
You're
else?
just like the big boss in animation.
Yeah. You're pretty awesome.
She's been my boss at studios, so yeah, she is the big
She's
boss
the
at studios.
real deal.
Director. So real.
She's for real.
So real.
I tricked you with barbecue, but we put you all on a show.
Yeah, I just want
She's
to.
like, hey guys, do you want some burgers and tacos?
Yeah, I just want to clarify that when we showed up, she was like, "Oh, we're having a barbecue. You should come over." I was like, "Fine, whatever. This will be rad. See some friends, eat some food again." She's like, "Here's a burger. Here's a beer. We're recording a podcast." Like, we just. So I'm gonna just hijack. So I'm Adam. I'm from the just ended Guys with Pencils podcast, and it's like they're already pulling us back in. We got out of the game, and now you're pulling us right back in. I'm retired.
No,
You gotta come back.
you can't die.
This could be like the guys with the pencils like after show. Like we can like discuss the show that we saw. You know, like when they do all those like crazy.
Or is this gonna be
Yeah.
one of? It's just gonna be like a bad cop drama where it's like I got out. And it's like you gotta come back one time. And it's like
Yeah.
fine, and I'm gonna die before the end. Of this.
There's one show away from retirement.
Yeah.
No!
One last shot.
Oh.
I'm Andrew Murray. I'm Andrew Murray of Guys with Pencils. And this is Adam Hines of Guys with Pencils.
Guys, pencils.
We're back, bitches!
Whoa! That was a fake ending episode. This
No,
is
it's
like
for real.
The continue. Okay.
They've joined the cast of Shanahanigans Live. It's a new show we're spinning
It's Guys
off
with Shanahanigans.
Guys with Live.
I just want to say on the Guys with Pencils thing, it's really funny because initially Andrew was the one that started kind of the decision to end it. Andrew was like, I kind of want to retire from the podcast, and then he gave me a bunch of really good reasons why. You can hear about it at guyspencil.com.
Episode 175.
Yeah, the last episode we talk about it. But after I posted the last episode, Andrew was like, I can't believe it's over.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? And I went, good. And then he's just like, oh. And then I'm like, no, you're the one that said let's not do this anymore. You don't get to get offended with the fact that I've come to terms with it.
Yeah. That was a good long run too, 3 years.
That's why I texted you tonight. And like, you gotta come over tonight, man. I can't do this by myself on this
We got you guys in town. We got a whole bunch of people in town as well because it's FanExpo weekend, of
Woo!
course. Here in
Yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Does it really having people in town if you live in town?
We're out and about more. I
We're
feel,
here.
because
This is
it's-
town.
Yeah, I'm here. That's enough reason to celebrate. Come on.
Yeah, isn't that enough? And people come long distance. Who came the furthest distance?
You're not even in
Vancouver.
town because we're in Newmarket. That's
That's right. Yeah, we're in Newmarket.
Yeah.
Woo.
So you can join us right now. We have the chat way far away in this computer, so I'm going to run up every now and then and read what's going on. I can see from a distance we got Kel saying hi.
Hi, Cal.
Hi, Cal.
Cal.
We got Matthew Pichard saying it made it.
Welcome.
Yeah. What else we got? Our dad complaining about stuff.
Hi, Dad.
And, oh, we got one more here. I gotta read this. This is from Matthew Pichard saying, geez, when you said there was going to be a whole bunch of people, we were messing around.
No.
We don't mess
Yeah,
around.
man.
Don't mess around on this
Live.
show.
We talk about the big issues, the big stories. Top story. Kate and I just finished watching The 100. Is anyone here watching that?
No.
We watched like 4 episodes after you guys mentioned it, and we're like, okay, this is like the best show ever. But we haven't
You're shaking
actually.
your head no.
Oh.
Well,
Chanel
okay,
said
when
that.
I say best show, I mean like this is kind of
Like so
terrible.
bad that it's good.
So bad it's good.
How do you, like, describe?
I like that.
For those that are not given the gift of the 100, it's basically take Battlestar Galactica. We all watch, it's good.
Oh yeah, every episode.
Take,
Yeah, totally.
Take Lost. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Every
Take,
episode.
take YA teen novels.
Yep, throw in
Yeah,
some
every book.
teenagers.
Teenage romances, all the books, all the
Yeah,
books.
every single one.
Put them together with a lot of poor decisions, and you got yourself the 100. And
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Mm.
It's for the whole family.
What is
It's on
the
Netflix.
hundreds
It's on
refer
Netflix.
to? Like, is there a hundred?
Basically, yeah. So basically, like, this is in the future. The Earth was bombarded with nuclear war, so people don't live on Earth anymore. They're in a space station. And then all the
I was just like, I actually needed to go. I wasn't bored.
No, that was
I'm
so
sorry.
awesomely timed.
Continue.
if you commit a crime over 18, you're jettisoned into space.
Oh.
If you commit a crime under 18, they don't know what to do with you, so they send you down to Earth. And so it's 100 hot teenagers get sent to Earth to try and
Naughty
Hot
hot
sounds-
Naughty hot
try and
teenagers.
see if
A
it's still
precedent.
if
Actually, a
it's
movie
nuclear.
like
I just want to say that you're making it sound way better than it is.
That sounds hot.
We want to get you to watch it, that's why.
Yeah.
You got us to watch
But
it.
like, and the thing I said, like, I have to brace everyone. I'm like, all right, the first 2 episodes, terrible, worst thing ever.
The first view?
First 2, no.
I-
First 2 episodes. Episode 3, everything
I was on
changes.
3
And you're like, and you, I can't even.
How many episodes are there?
No, it's not 100. It's like, is it 13 or 24? Or it's a good season, a good chunk. It's sizable.
Mhm.
Yeah, a respectable amount for the 100.
All right, I'll put it on the list.
And you haven't finished? Oh, continue.
I just
please.
finished a show called Happy Valley, which was only 6 episodes,
Mm.
and it was fucked up.
What was it?
It was about a British police officer, and her daughter was killed by a man, and he recently been let out, and he was back in the community, and she was kind of keeping tabs on him, but then he started killing again. And this woman was so badass who played the cop in it. She could be Batman. Like
She should be Batman.
She
Yeah.
fucking grabbed people by the balls and then squeezed them and was like, "If you ever say anything again."
Are you
But is
talking literally or figuratively?
No, she did it in an episode.
Whoa.
It's a good show.
Wow,
It's a
So
good
wait, all I have to do to be Batman is grab people's testicles?
That's like the criteria.
Yeah.
For a second, Shane. Stand up.
It's good. Happy Valley is a good show. It was one of those shows that you watch the first episode and you're like, that was good, and then you start watching the second one and then it's like, oh, I really need to watch the
Yeah.
3rd episode.
Yeah.
Oh, and the 5th.
But is it one of those things where it's like she knows that he's bad, but nobody else believes her, so she's going, no, really? And they're like, you're overreacting because of your past.
No,
Like, is it
she's pissed off at the fact that he's been let out because everything else is kind of going haywire in her life. Like
Okay.
she's not
This
really.
is the final.
She's a retired detective, but because her daughter died, and now she's got a grandson to look after. She had to go back to becoming a beat cop, and so she's just really kind of miserable about the fact. And now that he's back out too, it's just like, oh god, you know. And it's not like no one's like, oh, you're crazy. He's a good guy now. It's more like, yeah, well, we haven't seen him do anything yet, so.
Okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah, there's some pretty violent stuff in it, but it's
We've been
strong
watching.
female lead.
We've been watching The Good Wife.
Is it good?
And, we marathon, like me and my husband, who like, he was like, it's called The Good Wife. What does that mean? Like he was a little, I don't know. And I'm like, so we sat and watched it. Actually, he started it while I was working, and then I kept whipping around, going, "Who said that? What's going on? Wait, did that just happen?" So then I had to sit and we like talk about diverse, well-written female characters. Like there's this amazing investigator for the law firm. It's like Law and Order. So there's like a day, like a case of the day kind of thing, and like trial. But everyone gives you a different perspective. Like sometimes you're seeing it from the guilty party, and sometimes you're seeing it from the prosecution, and sometimes you're seeing it from the jury, and sometimes you're seeing it from the judge, and you get so it's there's Law and Order part of it, but then you get so invested in the characters and what's happening outside of the courtroom and in the firm. And there's this investigator called Kalinda, so POC, female investigator, knows all the cops. She gets into all the crime scenes and like gets them all the inside information and like wins all the cases for them. Spoilers. No, I'm kidding. But she is so kick-ass. Like one of the first episodes, she like takes a baseball bat to a guy's car. So again, like ball grabbing, kick-ass,
strong
female characters. And then one of the partners of the firm, Diane Lockhart, she's had to like work her way up in this lawyerly, gentleman's club kind of world, and so and it deals with politics and like it's so good.
Okay,
so well written.
I'm watching TV again, so I'm just like, all right, what's on my list of things?
But I was blown away.
After all this, I suddenly feel like The 100 isn't as respectable. You guys are all like, hard-hitting drama. I'm like, well, one guy got stabbed.
Oh yeah, well. In the 100, everyone's sexy.
The main character's shirt line keeps lowering and lowering and lowering. I'm like, she's supposed to be 17! Stop it! She's running around like, I need to go save the day, and the shirt's just getting lower and lower.
Belly button.
Just like,
you clearly never
like
saved the day before Katie.
I guess
How I roll
I say
when I have
my
to save the
cleavage
day.
all the
My
time.
shirt slowly.
We got Claire O'Reilly saying hello.
Hello!
Claire O'Reilly.
I think Claire is from Ireland too, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's real.
Oh, I had mentioned something with Irish accents.
What's the crack, Claire?
Yeah.
Do you have it?
No, what was that? What you kept saying it? You're like, you're gonna, or what was
No,
it?
you'll.
No.
You will.
You will.
Is that correct?
You will.
Confirm for us.
Confirm, deny.
If you want to request other accents, please be sure to submit them
Oh my
for
God.
questions.
And Leslie will attempt
And
that.
we'll be sure to run through them.
Oh my God! I'll get something bizarre, and I'll end up looking like racist or something.
A woman from Bombay, go. So.
I was gonna say I feel bad. I don't really watch TV, so everybody's like, yeah, this
No,
show.
you
this
watch shows. You watch
I
shows.
watch Netflix. So it's not...
Dude, so I love like Adventure Time and Gravity Falls and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so far behind on all three. Like,
Yeah, me too.
I just don't really. And normally the only thing that I really watch is just like YouTube stuff of people screaming at video games.
Yeah, same,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's good background noise when
It
I'm
is.
working.
Same, yeah, that's what I do. I watch like either Markiplier or like somebody who's just playing like a
Is
bunch
it
of
the
like those
playthrough?
horror guys.
So
Wait, okay.
Markiplier, I just want to say, Markiplier has become one of my favorites.
Yeah, me too.
Stupid, sexy Markiplier.
Stupid sexy Markiplier, absolutely. Everything he does, like I've been watching him for like 2 years, and just seeing him just go from like 5,000 to like 3 million, like and he still stays super humble.
He's
and
so
just
like
gives to the community and like still updates like 2 to 3 videos a day.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like all that stuff is really good.
all I'm gonna say is, as a straight dude, he's got that voice, and he talks,
It's
and
the
I'm
voice.
just like,
Absolutely.
tell me a story,
I think
Markiplier.
we're all like that, no matter what.
Yeah.
Wait, is that what you were watching earlier today?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because I was on the computer and I was like, that voice.
Yeah, no, exactly. So she had her first taste of Markiplier.
I
So I
did.
mean, might have another Congreve here. But
Yeah.
I'm sold.
So here's the thing that I'm excited for. My wife and I are going to MagFest
Yeah.
this year, and he's gonna be there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
can you find Markiplier?
Dude, I have the best story about Markiplier. So last year at PAX, I was waiting in line with my girlfriend. We were gonna go play the new Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies game, and she had heard me like listen to him and talk about him or whatever, and I was talking to her, and she just kind of sees at the corner of her eye, and she's like, Molly, I think that was Markiplier just went by. I'm like, no, and I kind of look, and then like sure enough, it was him, and so I'm like, he saved my spot for me. I just start running after him, like, I'm like, Markiplier. I'm like, oh my god, I love you so much. Like, your art, your videos are so good, and you make me laugh and blah blah blah. He's like, okay, yeah, like, cool, like, just being a really generally cool guy about it. But like, when you're watching somebody for like every day, you feel like you know them, like you feel like they're like your friend, like you know about their life.
It's almost a problem.
It is but he had no idea who I was, and I was talking to him as if like he knew who I was, and I was like, when I like talk to people I know,
how's your sister?
Like I get friendly with people, like I start being like, oh hey, like how's it going? I literally started stroking his arm, and it was just totally subconscious, but he didn't like look weirded out by it. Like maybe he was like used to it. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, well, thanks for being super cool. Like, you're really nice. Okay, thank you. We got like a picture together, and I was like, hey, bye. And I was like, I just thought about it later. I'm like, he had no idea who I was. That must have seemed super creepy.
He's gonna watch this later and be like, oh my god, the weird arm touching girl. Was
I totally remember her. Yeah. Oh, jeez, what a freak. But let me tell you, those arms.
Or they
Well, like he works out. Like he's like, how's it going? There's videos of him like doing like dances in like underpants and stuff, like on purpose. Like one of like the latest. Did you see the fish dance? Literally,
I haven't seen this.
Oh no, the
not
fish
the
dance.
Zumba one, but like he plays this fish game, and he's like, that was the dumbest game ever. Oh well, here's me dancing with fish, and he's in like hot pants and like a tank top that says like girl or something, like something stupid, and two giant like raw pieces of fish.
All I'm gonna say is, if I was in as good a shape as that guy was, you couldn't make me put clothes on.
No,
I would just be like,
well, he keeps mentioning he doesn't wear pants ever. So like, but he doesn't go down or anything. But I mean,
you're on the first step to success.
I know.
We're halfway there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that was literally a story I told early on in the night, how I wasn't wearing pants during the meeting with the DreamWorks guy. That was good. Pants will ruin your friggin' career. They hold you back. Pants are none of us wearing pants. Wait, the camera's not.
No,
you can't.
No one does.
Lies.
Yeah.
I think we almost I think I saw you were breaking up when we were talking about the
horror
games. And I wanted to bring up Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if this was the guy, because there's a guy who had this deep, rich voice who goes, oh no.
Oh, yeah,
That's
definitely
one of the
Markiplier.
richest voices I have heard, so I agree with everything you just
I
said.
think
Yes.
he sounds like a movie.
The movie announcer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so really solid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I wrote a script for a trailer narration that I'm gonna have to make eventually, and I wrote it with Markiplier in mind.
And
that-
his
No,
voice
exactly, and
narrating it,
that's the thing. I was like, maybe can we call him? And be like, no. I'm like, but he might do it. And like, no, he won't. I'm like, I want him to.
But I know a guy who knows the guy, so I mean, well,
Molly will hook you up.
my
Okay,
downstairs
nice.
roommate is Amanda Flagg, and Amanda Flagg is the girlfriend of Gerard the Completionist.
Okay.
So I don't know if
Oh
you've
shoot!
seen-
Yeah, he did
so-
the Final Fantasy.
Yes.
That was. If you haven't seen this yet, look up the Completionist. It's a whole look back at all Final Fantasy VII, like the whole, I guess, franchise.
Yeah, the
of
whole
7.
franchise, every single
was-
game / movie.
It's an incredible little. I call it a documentary. It's an
Yeah, no,
incredible
it
little
is, yeah.
go over. They bring in a lot of people who play the Ego Raptor shows up.
Yeah, they're all friends.
They're all,
Yeah.
and it's such. He goes into all like the meanings of like just the story itself,
Yeah,
the growth.
I loved it.
It's fantastic if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
Definitely check it
Final
out.
Fantasy VII is like dear and close to my heart, and he just like laid everything out. That was just like, this is what everything is, and he even explained things I didn't understand before.
Yeah.
I understood when he just said it so simply, and I was like, I never thought about it like that.
Well, like, I
That's
appreciate
amazing.
Cloud's arc even better now
Yeah,
after watching this video.
exactly.
Because at the time, a lot of
Did you
people.
send this to me? I need to
I
watch
sent it
this.
to everybody.
Okay, because I really like.
This was an
Final
important
Fantasy
video in my week of watching them.
You
I was
recommended
just
that to
telling
me,
people.
right? Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I've never played Final Fantasy
Fantasy VII, yeah, like you should
watch
just
this.
if you
It's
don't have time
fantastic.
for a
Only game I've
5-hour
completed,
game,
pretty much.
just watch this. It's like an hour and a half, like all of the videos combined.
But then it kind of goes out on a whim because it's like, and now Dirge's server.
I know,
Which
and
has
they're like,
no meaning.
well,
It's like,
I can't
Vincent,
believe
what did they do to you, buddy? Oh, well.
They're were some Turks and I don't know, like some shit, and like 3-barreled shotgun. Who cares? Let's move on to Crisis Core. Like,
I do want to quickly roll back just because the Five Nights at Freddy's thing has like taken my imagination and filled it with fear.
I don't want to even look at footage.
The-
I don't want to see
The
videos.
premise of this game is
The premise of this game
is basically if you play games like Slender and stuff, which is kind of like a very first, just you alone and something's following you. It's like that, but you're a security guard in this Chuck E. Cheese kind of place.
it's Chuck E. Cheese at night.
There's this guy who calls you, like, who gave you the job, and he gives you all this dry information about, for some reason the animatronics get a little active at night.
They go into wander mode.
Yeah, wander mode, and they may try to take you and do awful. I don't want to give the whole thing because it's
Well, I mean, everyone's pretty much seen it.
Yeah.
So
Also, let's be fair. The story in that game is kind of garbage, but it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like that's the point
But
of the
the
story.
point is,
Yeah.
that's the setup.
Like, who cares why the things are walking around?
Yeah.
It's like
Point
that's
is that
the setup.
Fucking
And the
terrifying.
And the gameplay is
like,
you don't move at all outside
Yeah.
of looking between
Yeah.
two doors in your office, and your only actions are you have a power system like energy,
But wait,
battery.
so you never leave?
You never
No,
leave.
you are literally.
All-
You're literally
you
stuck in
can't
this room with access to security cameras all over the place.
No, it's
And-
worse.
And now we're gonna play it live for you.
No, no, no.
Let's play.
I will
And
follow me.
The reason it's freaky is like you have to experience it, but basically you're going to be switching your cameras and things aren't where they just were a second ago.
Yeah, they
And-
start wandering. They're starting like different areas of like the Chuck E. Cheese kind of place itself. Like sometimes they'll be like in the kitchen, but like the kitchen's camera will be turned off. You'll only hear them kind of like jingling around, and then all of a sudden they'll be like right next door to you.
Yeah. Now you think to yourself, you're like, oh, does
And
he
then
have the
you turn
ability?
on the light, and they're like,
Yeah.
And then right there, like,
You
hey!
have the ability. Your only defense in this game is to close the doors to that office. You think to yourself, oh, good, keep them closed the whole game. But the doors require power to stay closed. Watching the cameras require power, and turning on the lights in the hallway, which are the only blind spots in the whole area,
Yeah.
also require power. And you have 6 hours
No,
to not
this
get
is the last 2
freaked.
days people have been talking about
It's-
this game, and I can't sleep
I'm
because
sorry.
And if you
that
watch
was my
it,
fault.
And the first one's like freaking out, but day 2, that destroyed me. I couldn't watch anymore after that.
Oh well, day 2.
when
that's
I went to Pirate Cove, I'm like, no,
Pirate
no,
Cove
bad.
guy. Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
Where it's like this guy's broken, he won't come out, and then like you see like the curtains kind of part where
Yeah.
it's like under
Oh, that's
construction.
where the
The
curtains.
curtains
Yeah.
part, and you just see the glowing eyes
Yeah.
with like the
No.
teeth,
No.
and you're like, no.
No.
And he's the only one that actually physically you see move on the camera.
That's why it destroyed me. Like I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, and the thing is if you see him move, you're dead.
It's too
Well,
late.
you have like a split second to go and close the door, but if you don't, he'll just be like,
No, what's going on?
It's like,
So that's so.
I can't handle horror games.
Yeah,
And this
I'm
is-
sorry. I love horror games. Like
Yeah.
anything, I will play anything.
I'll watch
Yeah.
you play it.
Well,
Do your own Let's Play. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll join you on that.
Absolutely, I'll play it for you right now.
the thing that I think is really impressive about the game is I don't like horror games, and the reason why is because the whole idea is that, like, if you look at a good horror movie, you get invested, and it's scary because, like, if you do get invested, which a good movie should make you do, you don't want these characters to die.
Yeah.
You care about what happens. To
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Or
with a video game, it's normally like that's you're that character. It's like, but I can just load it. Like Amnesia, I didn't like at all because like you'd be walking and then stuff would get crazy. You're like, oh, the monster's nearby, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna hit.
Invested in the
I'm like,
story.
what are you gonna do? I'm gonna hit load and I'm fine. Like, eat me, whatever you are.
Yeah.
But the thing that is cool about Five Nights at Freddy's is because it's more than just scary. It builds tension really,
Yes.
really well. And
Yes.
because of the countdown of the battery.
yeah, and I mean, just like the fact that like when you switch to a camera, like you'll just like the compositions are really good. Like things are
Yeah.
kind of like half in the light and half in the
Silhouettes.
shadow.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes you won't even notice like the two like tiny white eyes that are glistening in like,
Yeah.
the corner of something, and you're like, "Where's the bear? Where's the
Yeah.
bear?"
There's
Yeah.
one camera that's just audio.
Yeah, and like sometimes the bear won't come after you until you run out of power, start to run out of power, and
Yeah.
like he'll disappear and like
You'll beeline it.
exactly.
Because that's it, because the hallways are dark. In the blind spots, they're absolutely dark outside your door. So unless you turn on the lights, you won't see what's out there until it's there.
Until it's
And then you shut the door and wait for it to leave, hopefully. And you're like, where? And watching the video being done, the guy's like, where's the duck? Where's the duck? He's just like
That's
yelling the whole
friggin'
time.
Let's eat.
Yeah, and it's. I didn't get through the whole thing, but it's fascinating. I just love how the indie horror scene has kind of grown from the lack
Yes.
of AAA horror since like Silent Hill's kind of stopped being.
But I
made.
love the indie games because people take them, like people have created like pixel games, like literally like few colors, and they've made it scary because just they know how to create an atmosphere, and they know just how to design everything, and like what would really ick a person. Just
well, it also kind of hit the point where, and as much as I love Resident Evil 4, I think that game was kind of the beginning of the end for the horror genre in AAA because. Yeah, because like this is a horror game, and it's like, no, I'm just shooting this guy in the face, like he's a werewolf or whatever.
Like, well, the atmosphere was great. Like you're in this village, and then all these villagers just show up, then they all disappear. So it was really unique.
Yeah.
But every one of them since has just been like combos, and they're fun, but they're not.
They're not horror, and that's why I was so happy, like when indie horror took off, because I was missing that part of survival horror, because everything had just become like, oh, you're this agent and you have to go kill these guys, and now we're gonna send you to 2 years in prison to save the president's daughter.
Either in the garbage can.
Like it's not scary when you're the most dangerous thing in the world.
Resident Evil, what, 6? Chris Redfield's like jacked and has Uzis and stuff.
Oh,
and
5 is like that.
Well, there's 5 and 6.
Yeah,
6
5 is the worst.
6 was just one of the most hilarious Resident Evils because there's when you play as like Wesker's son and I forget who the other is.
Sherry.
He's basically like a Tekken character. Because he's like going to zombies and doing like spin kicks and stuff, and it's ridiculously fun.
It is.
Not scary at all.
No, it's
and
not.
it's oddly unbalanced because it became an action game, but like it's still survival horror, so you have only so many bullets in a machine gun. It's like, that's not how much you use a machine gun in video games. You need endless bullets.
Exactly.
It's not scary not to have it. It's frustrating.
And I kind of accepted that part of Resident Evil. Like, I've just been like, okay, this is how it's going to go. Like, the original people who worked on the original Resident Evils aren't working on it anymore.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of accepted that, and I'm like, well, maybe they'll go and do their own thing, and now they're doing another game. The Evil Within, and so now,
but it kind of looks really like 4.
It kind of does, but I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. And just kind of like
absolutely.
wait.
What's more like? What's that other game on PC that was going nuts about the doctor and he takes your finger and stuff?
Outlast.
Is Outlast? Yeah, it looks a little more like that in a very kind
Outlast
of
is
Saw kind of eerie look.
Yes, it's very, very, very Saw, but very mature. Like,
who wants to go on a pleasant discussion?
Well, I just wanted. I was gonna say.
As soon as you were like a game with the doctor and he takes your fingers.
I was gonna say about horror, AAA horror though, that the PT was cool.
Yeah, I watched the demo being played of that, and that was.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't like Lucy.
Yeah, I was thinking about this too, and I was just like, why are we talking about this at night?
Right, one more scary game we're talking about.
You're trying to go to bed and like shaking at the door, like, Katie, I want to tell you about a game.
Hey, Katie, you want to submit a chainsaw podcast?
Oh, right. The scary game.
Why don't we all just jump into the chat and read what people are saying? We got Chelsea saying, Molly, I would definitely enjoy watching you play FNAF. Was it
Five Nights at Freddy's?
I remember when you played Slender.
That was hilarious.
You did a Slender playthrough?
Yeah. I do. I have a Slender playthrough on YouTube. I'm literally in a onesie. Just like with a huge mug of tea with like a backwards cap, like, let's do this! It was pretty awesome. And
I said we should do a Five Nights at Freddy's over. You came to play it. You should play it and I should watch it. We'll record it.
No, I'm so down.
I
will
watch YouTube playing it.
Yeah.
Like, and then if you could do
I will lose.
She'll lose her shit.
I'm someone who yells at what's happening. Like, I'm someone who screams and like, yeah!
So it'd be a let's play with you playing and you just over the shoulder.
Like,
no! Don't go there! Don't open the door!
Like, you won't! You won't! No!
I wouldn't watch that.
That'd be no.
Lucy, you'll go back to your room. No more. Quit being a bother.
Don't pick up anything else. It just unlocks the rest of the site. Don't do it. We'll just listen to the music and turn all the lights on. It'll be fine. Till the morning.
I want that to be a character that you can play in a game. Making those
the person who's going along with you. What the fuck are you doing?
It's like Nazi.
Why are you going in there for? You don't even have a flashlight. Just get the lights working for
Irish Navi, just in Zelda, just falling out. Why are you going there? Don't open the door, Link.
So, do not turn left. There's things in there to lead you.
So, nobody's going to get this reference, but I'm going to make it anyway. So, have you ever heard of Dota 2? It's a video game.
That is the one my brother, who was
like, you need to make art of this because you'll make so much
Yeah,
money.
so I played the shit out of that game. One of the coolest things is there's always announcers. You can buy announcer packs.
Oh yeah.
I want an announcer pack of you. Click the fucker. Click him some more.
Click it. Do it. Click, 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 click.
Give him the goof.
I'm still just delighted with the idea of like a Navi who discourages adventuring
Yeah.
in a Zelda game. Just like, don't
Just-
go outside, Link.
just-
Stay home.
Just
Don't
stand
leave,
there.
Babette.
Just stay still. Do not go.
So,
I'm sure
It's too
something
dangerous
be
to go
along.
without this.
I'm a
Don't
teen,
go.
go back inside. Just to go
I want to play.
Just don't go at all.
So just imagine
I
in
won't.
Ocarina of Time.
I want to play Irish Zelda so
Yeah.
bad.
I could just imagine
Hey,
Barry has been
Hey, listen.
Ocarina of Time.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen.
Shut the fuck up.
You were saying.
Yeah, just imagine Ocarina of Time at the first boss, and it's like the spidery thing comes across the ceiling and looks at you, and then the camera goes back to Link, and Navi's on his shoulder and goes, "It's a big fucking spider." Run! Get the fuck out of there! I told you not to fucking go!
That's like-
but you gave, and you done going.
My favorite kind of reference to that is you call like Zero Punctuation. Yoshi.
Yes, I love
He
that.
did the thing where he played Zelda Ocarina with Link, and he named Link "Fuck Me,"
Yeah.
which worked out because when they went to the winter level, Navi's like, "Fuck me, it's cold in here." So I always love that.
That's one of the funnest things.
Oh, that was so good.
Jumping
Yeah.
back to the chat,
I
we
would
got
watch that though.
Shockwave. Shockwave 984 saying, did anyone play the Silent Hill playable teaser? Did you guys actually
I was
play
actually
it?
going to bring that up. I said, so having said that, what is the opinion on the new? I didn't play it, but what's the opinion? I watched the play of it.
Gameplay was interesting because it's like you zoom into things to make them happen, as opposed to
Yeah.
like click. So it's like, let's zoom into this open door to
Mm.
make something awful
So-
happen.
Like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut
So-
the door.
Zoom out.
Zoom out, zoom out. When you look at close before you're going to lose your faith.
Don't
You
turn
eat it.
around. Just don't.
You eat it. Jesus Christ. Get out.
Oh my God.
It seems a little pixel hunty, but it was cool for what it was.
Yeah.
I love the fact that like for the longest time people couldn't figure out how to solve the last puzzle, and people were doing it but not knowing how, and nobody could replicate it. So I watched this long video of this guy who like pieced together like all these things that are like really not random, but kind of like it feels like a stretch, but when he brings it all together, you're like, oh, it makes sense, and he's been able to replicate the ending like 30 plus times.
Was this one where he actually went into like numbers are letters and then
Yeah.
and a name
It
from the
was-
Bible and different
yeah,
languages and
yeah.
all these hidden language quotes that show up during the flash screens. They put them in order to tell the story, being like, oh, she did this. Look out! Don't open that. I picked up the phone, and like that tells you the order
How to
of things
beat the
you're
game.
supposed to do.
Yeah.
And
so
basically,
cool.
this is a unique. If you ever played Silent Hill, this is kind of a unique version because Kojima of Metal Gear fame,
Who's fucking insane.
who is
Yeah, he's
insane.
insane.
He's like the
Well,
example I
Guillermo
give.
del Toro's not far off from that
Yeah.
either.
The
Like,
example I give for him is saying to beat a boss in Metal Gear, you had to switch controllers so someone couldn't read your mind.
Yeah.
So controller 1 to 2, and that's like fourth wall gameplay that doesn't happen ever outside of like Eternal Darkness. Or
And
something
reading like the
that.
memory card to see what games you played, and they would be
Yeah.
like, "You like to play Castlevania," and you're like, "How the fuck do you
Yeah.
know
One of the best
that?"
was on the GameCube one. It's like, you played Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
How does he know that? I didn't play it, you know, kind of thing. But it's like, this is the guy who's now working with Del Toro on this Silent Hill, starring the dude from Walking Dead.
Norm Reedus, yeah.
And it's like, this is going to be a really interesting project. So whether
Yeah.
it brings back AAA survival horror, I'm curious to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think Kojima had mentioned that actually the PT demo wasn't even close to like the level of quality that he was going to be putting in the game. Like it was, like he said, maybe like half because of the processing speed of like the PS4. So apparently it's just going to be like even better than that, like with the graphics and the textures and everything. So I'm like, that looked really realistic. Like I know every single generation we're like, oh, that looks so realistic. PS3, oh, that looks so realistic. PS4, same thing. But like really, it's like if you had an Oculus Rift, like I don't know if I'd be able to do that.
The lighting was
Honestly.
really incredible.
Yeah,
Yes.
the lighting is fantastic.
Like
I,
just made it, I think.
I backed the new Myst game
It's gonna get worse.
that's coming out, Abduction.
You're gonna.
I haven't heard of
They,
it.
yeah, they had a Kickstarter back in the spring, And I don't know how it came across my dash, but it was missed, and I was like, sign me.
Yeah.
And they had put out some of like the design artwork and stuff, like backgrounds in the worlds and stuff, and it deals more. I'm gonna get this wrong probably, but it deals more with like you've been abducted. I guess it's called abduction, and you're taken to this other world, and you have to figure out. But it's like they've been producing stuff, but they haven't made their own game since the Mists, like all the Mists, and it just like the design and the look of it and the story like just blew me out of the water. So I'm signed up, and I've got the inside, get all the inside like information. It's supposed to be coming out next spring, I think 2015, and I'm super pumped about it.
What I always loved about the original Myst was you could actually beat it right away because everything you do leads up to one final. Everything you do leads to one final puzzle. It's interesting for a game to be like, in a weird way, more open world than ever because nothing had to be linear. It's like this was the solution all along, the time. But everything you do leads to this.
Yeah.
Which is really a neat. Like I don't know how many games ever actually really did that, where it's just
It's
like,
a
oh, Ganondorf's right over there.
It's a puzzle,
And
but
it's just like, I won the game. Or it could
unlock.
Chrono lets you go straight to the boss.
You can like beat the boss right away, because like the first encounter is something you're supposed to lose, but you can beat them. Like if there's because there's the new game plus and stuff too.
Yeah.
And stuff. So like.
So if you soup yourself up and then just.
Yeah, you can just beat him in the first thing.
But there's so many games that have scripted.
The game.
You're like, oh, that was
the epic journey music. You're like, oh, okay.
One fight.
There's always all these games in the past, like arcade beat 'em ups, where like you're supposed to lose for dramatic purposes, but it's like if you're good enough, you can still hold your own. But it's just endless waves of bad guys. There's like Spider-Man Carnage on Super did that, where I was like, yeah, I'm taking them, but this thing kept coming, so I'm like, just kill me. Just let the story continue.
Those types of fights are more or less satisfying than the fights that are just like, oh, cutscene, you really can't beat this. You know, like
gives you
at least you kind of
get the choice to just roll over.
Well, even
okay.
Just die already.
You won't
roll over.
We all want to get on with it now.
Well, stop hitting if you roll over.
Just get to the cutscene.
Well, even like Tales of Destiny had that, where it's like, I got my RPG team, we got swords, we're the best. We show up to town, and like this one pretty boy shows up, and he's just destroying your team.
Final Fantasy IX did that too.
You're using all of your bottles of stuff you've bought, all your everything, but you realize you're supposed to lose. And you're like, there goes my inventory.
Yeah, Final Fantasy IX did that more than once too, and that was just so unacceptable.
It's so bad.
So Andrew, what was the most recent game you've played?
Like what did I play just recently?
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. 2.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about that.
Yeah.
It still has the best soundtrack.
It's like pretty much the hardest game I've ever played so far.
Guys.
The old ones are super
No,
hard.
I'm really bad. Like you guys are talking about, like and then this and this, and I'm just like I've only got like an NES at home with like 6 games.
I'm a backseat gamer. I just watch while he plays. Games are hard.
It's not even that. It's so
like
dumb. It's just like it's not that I don't appreciate them. It's just that I'm just like I'd rather play that system. I have such a love for the.
Hey man, the Nintendo's great.
Yeah.
That's
Good
alright.
system, man. Aladdin for NES.
I have 2
Aladdin.
So the last
Aladdin's
game that I
fantastic.
played through was Skyward Sword on the Wii, I think was the last one. And I wish I had more time for gaming, but like 2 small children. And so all of my spare time goes towards art.
Come watch me play games, kids.
Yeah. I tried that, and my son learned the F word. Me gaming.
Oh.
Was it
Mario Kart.
Which game was that?
I was like, I would play Mario Kart, and I'd lose. I'd be like, fuck. And then like one day, my little 2-year-old son was like, he was like had his cars, and he crashed his truck, and he went crash, and he went, fuck. And I was like, naughty word.
That's only for Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Not outside the house.
Brings out the worst.
Speaking of which, greatest news ever just came out about Mario Kart. Nintendo's really running on DLC these days. Like they're really kind of embracing the internet for once.
I'm
It's
dancing
good.
in the background
The
here.
newest announcement out today. Apparently today, the Mercedes-Benz came out. All 3.
All 3.
But who cares about that?
Crap.
Who was announced? Link. Link's gonna be a Mario Kart.
Oh my
what?
God.
What? That's not enough for you guys?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Isabelle.
Is that not enough?
Peach.
Cat suits.
Isabelle.
This is
Catsuit Peach.
Friggin' Dry Bones
Tanuki
Bowser.
Mario. Dry Bones Bowser.
What was it? Baby Bowser as swappable with all the Koopalings was gonna happen.
Yeah.
He's gonna like
And they had all the different colors of Shy Guys and all the different colors of Yoshis as well.
This is
Oh my God.
big. This is coming out what, November and May, I think they said.
I think
or...
so.
Is
Yeah.
it DLC?
It's gonna be $12 overall for everything, but it's like a ton of tracks.
There's 2 different ones. There's 3 characters per. There's going to be a certain amount of new cars and customizable options, and 4 tracks each.
Yeah,
so 8
it's actually pretty
tracks
good.
Total.
That's pretty amazing.
And my favorite part is seeing like Link being proportionate to the
I just
Nintendo.
look to her and be like, tell me about
Yeah.
the world.
Tell us everything.
Tell Molly.
Well,
No, who were we talking to the other way that was like, I was kind of disappointed that Link doesn't have his horse.
yeah,
Just upside down, just riding on the steel. Go, honey. You can do this.
Yeah, no,
I believe in you.
Because we were looking at the pictures and like Link's driving this
Wheels on
like
it.
big
Well, there's two.
It's the horse driving the car and it's on the horse.
Well, there's 2 great screenshots. There's Link on a motorcycle, which is badass enough because he's like taking the turn. You're like,
and he's like,
I
hover
dreamt
car.
of this. Then there's Link in a cart with his knees up to his
Yeah,
shoulders.
yeah, like he's
Because the
full-size.
carts are still proportionate, and he's still taller than everybody. So
Yeah.
he's just like driving around. It's amazing looking.
I cannot wait for that. I'm just gonna die.
So, and not only that, Nintendo then said, "Hey guys, guess what? We're working with Tekken to make Pokemon Tekken."
Tekken.
Me as a kid, when they said, "Oh, guess what? Pokemon Stadium," I'm like, "It's gonna be like Smash Bros. With Pokemon." It's like, "Oh, it's turn-based, hitting each other. I hate this." So, I'm not a Pokemon fan. Sorry,
No,
but
not me.
when this was announced, it's basically a fighting game with Pokemon.
like
I don't know-
Machamp and like Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Like,
And I don't know
so
if
you
it's like
can-
150 plus
play
characters,
the Pokemon.
but
You're not a trainer.
no,
No,
you're
you are
literally
them.
like beat him up. Like there's a big Pokemon and another big
You're
Pokemon. Big Jack's Pokemon beating
YouTube
each other
bitch
up.
slapping
Nintendo
everybody
should
else.
do
Yeah,
some
pretty much
cool
exactly.
shit.
Nintendo has really listened up recently
The,
because they kind of were falling behind as far as like.
I'm really super excited for the Hyrule Warriors.
Yes.
Me too.
If you like your.
I pre-ordered the like super special edition in Japan when you get like the clock
Nice.
and like the
Scarf.
the scarf and like the chest that opens and it goes doo-doo-doo-doo-doo when you open it. So I'm just like, yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be in Japanese, and of course
There's
we're gonna
also-
pre-order the actual.
The Ganondorf trailer is fantastic too because he's playable now, and at the end it's like badass Ganondorf opens his chest and has this big shiny heart, and he's like, it's like this game.
I love how he just
Amazing.
like, I love how he just like kicks the chest open, like that's
Yeah.
how he opens chest.
And the other cool thing was this. I don't know if it was confirmed or not, but the supposed female Link design was that. Ever
No, that was
thing?
debunked.
No.
That was debunked.
Debunked?
Oh, sorry. No, the original thing was that like everyone thought that the Wii U Link was actually female because
Well, no,
they were
there was that one, but there's
but-
also designs
right,
for
they were-
Hyrule Warriors.
That's correct.
Is that-
There was going to be a female Link in Hyrule Warriors.
That's what I meant. 'Cause
Yes.
it was, and everyone, and it was,
There's
it's in the art
for
book.
that. Yes.
And I'm just thinking, like, this game's already taken so many kind of like different, like bringing all your
Yeah.
favorite characters
Yeah.
together. Why not?
Most of the characters in that game are women.
It's true.
Which is kind of awesome.
And I was
I
trying
wanna
really
be
hard
Ruto.
to get Nintendo's attention to get Groose in there. Like I had like a whole like, did you see my pentagram like summoning circle I had? Like literally, I had like my Groose doll. I had like my Legend of Groose like customized Wii case of Skyward Sword.
Oh,
I
nice.
had like
Your
my
paintings?
Groose.
Did
I
you
had
get
my
paintings?
painting. I had like my
She
Groose
painted up the
cosplay.
portrait of Bruce that's hanging up in his
Why do
room.
people like Groove so much?
She recreated.
That's me. Why do I like Groose?
Yeah, she's actually the only one.
It's pretty. Well, yeah. Like if you saw my artwork, you wouldn't understand, but you would understand if you could
Understand how much she
close to understanding.
Speaking of Nintendo doing cool stuff, though, and I know this is leaked, and I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but for
Smash, was it?
yeah, like the fucking Duck Hunt dog is in Smash Brothers.
What?
With the
I-
dogs.
I kind of hope it's a fake leak.
I think
because
it's
I feel
I think
like
it's fake.
I don't mind that idea. I wish
That's
they're
awesome.
in it, but I feel bad if it's leaked because Sakurai and his team have been pacing their release information so well that for someone to be like, here's the characters. I'm like,
No, I feel bad for the team, but like I want to be the Duck Hunt dog.
Like,
and like if
imagine-
the taunt is like, like a laugh on the screen.
But imagine what a trailer would have like blown us all away if Duck Hunt was revealed as the last character.
Yeah,
We would have lost
we
our
would've
because there would have been
lost
like it would have been like a scene of like Captain Falcon driving, and then his windshield gets shot up. He's like, "What the hell?" And then the Duck Hunt dog is there. And it's like the dog loads up or whatever. It's just like what?
The dog, right
I
here.
just I just really hope that's legit. I want that Duck Hunt dog
Yeah.
to be in.
I would love that too.
I was pretty excited because the image also had Shulk from Xenoblade. And I don't know if you've ever played the Xenoblade.
I've heard of the game.
It's
So that would be the Namco side of this partnership.
Is that the game where you're running around on like a dead giant?
It's basically a giant. There's one that's mechanical, and there's one that's like plant and like plant-based, I guess. So literally like
Organic.
Yeah, organic. Thank you. That was the word I was
you're
looking
for.
Organic. And literally like different parts of the world. Are you on like its arm? You on its thigh? You on its head? And like both of the worlds connect via like because. Basically, what the premise is that these things were locked in battle like eons ago, and like one of them killed the other one, and the other one just happened to die at the same time. I don't remember the story.
I'm surprised.
But basically, one has like the sword, and the other one has the hand. So the tip of the sword, so you can pretty much like travel along the edge and like go from one to the other. And this world is huge.
And that's the whole world map. Is this body?
Is both of them? You go to both of them.
It's like bigger than not Titan. Sorry, I meant Colossus.
Yeah. Way
like the overworld is the Colossus.
Like there's Colossuses on these things, and they're just fleas.
Colossi?
On these things, and they're just fleas. Like you could just flick it off, sort of thing. Like that's it's a really good game, but good luck finding it. It's like so hard to find.
Let's jump into some quick other things. We got Chris Noe saying, looks like I walked into a party some form. Wait, what? Some form. A party of some form. We got Amanda Flag saying, Molly,
Flag,
you are cute. We miss you lots. How's people, Amanda?
She's Amanda Flag. She's an amazing. If you've seen or if you go to like those tea websites like Tea Fury. The Yeti. She's a big. She designs crap tons of stuff on those sites, and like her stuff is everywhere. She's the one who's
sorry, I thought she meant like
girlfriend is or her boyfriend's the completionist.
Oh.
She's
everyone's connected.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Incredible.
It's really funny. She moved
Can't
in.
have her back,
I thought you were going to say everybody's dating completion.
She randomly moved into our basement suite, and it's like we just conjured her out of thin air because one guy moved out, and we're like, man.
But she never existed until we thought.
Exactly. No, because I had seen her stuff before, but I didn't like know who exactly she was, and like somebody else moved in, and one day I met her like going to take up the garbage, and I had like this one of these like shirts on, and she's like, yeah, I know the guy who designed that. I'm like, pardon? And like literally she's like, yeah, I designed like geeky nerdy t-shirts too, and then we started talking, realizing we had everything in common, and I'm like, we're the same person, like we couldn't have asked for a better person.
Hey, guess what? We're friends now.
Yeah, exactly. So we became best friends. So like it's pretty much like your guys' situation, how it's like you on top and like you guys are like on the bottom. Like it's like all nerd house. That's pretty much.
I feel like we need to go talk to our neighbors now because they could be potential best friends.
Exactly.
Like that.
And like, so
do you guys design t-shirts?
You like accordion music?
It just slowly closed her door.
We have a jam session coming up.
We walk by and they're all just out there smoking pot, and we're like, oh. But maybe they're secret geeks that are
Put it on a food.
acting like cool dudes.
Excuse me, you want to be friends? I will.
And I need food.
They go back into the house. You won't? You won't?
This from a little while ago, Claire also saying, I literally got to the first page in Slender, and when the drum started up when I picked it up, I nearly threw my laptop across the room. Haven't picked it up since.
Yeah, that's when like I first. Yeah.
Also, way throwback, she also says, the crake is mighty.
The crack is mighty.
Crack is mighty?
Crack is mighty.
Winky
That's
face,
grand.
is that a good thing?
That's grand, yeah.
It's a good thing,
Very
right?
good, yeah.
Alright.
It's grand.
It's grand.
It's a grand.
It's grand.
She also says, this Irish game commentator needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
I'm liking that.
We got the
Wouldn't that be
kickstarted. Yeah.
The order.
Art too.
Yes, that's all nice, but I want you as my sack now.
Back that. Turn left.
Well,
Turn left is a roundabout. What roundabout? Jesus.
We got Chelsea. Sorry.
Weckert.
Yeah, Weckert. Thank you. I played PT last weekend, drunk off my face because it was the only way I could, but I still did, and I beat it. But oh man, it was so scary. I've had nightmares ever since, and I just had that. I couldn't sleep just from watching the video.
Yeah.
I wasn't even playing it.
Yeah.
No headphones. Couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
It was a small screen. I had scrolled up just so I could see the feet, and I was covering my eyes anyway. It was still the scariest
I do
damn
that
thing.
sometimes.
I had to, like, my children were watching children's television in the background. The sun is shining in my window. I have the earphones out, and it's just a tiny screen on my computer. So I'm hearing, like, problem solved, problem solved. It's like, and I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. It's fine.
Solve the problem. It's so scary.
food in the kitchen. Go for it.
Oh, it's savage.
We got Shannon Randall saying this is totally not along the same lines as what you have been talking about, but do you guys ever play Cards Against Humanity together?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
All
I-
together? Not yet.
We've never been together in one room.
Well, we just got here.
It's been
so.
played.
We find a lot of conventions end in Cards Against Humanity, depending
Yes.
on who you.
Like
Because
packs and stuff.
like where do you go after a con but do the horriblest things?
I
you can?
actually,
Yeah, absolutely.
I brought it to my cottage because we have friends who come up every year. There's a weekend, the long weekend at the beginning of August. They always come up and they're like, oh, we all have to bring a game. That's sort of the thing that we do. So I was somewhere where it was like, I found this game and it was like pictures, and then you had to match whatever caption that was the people voted on whether or not it was funny. And I was like, and that reminded me of Cards Against Humanity, and they're not in the geekosphere at all. So I was like, I'm going to bring this, and and my parents were there too.
Oh.
My dad and my stepmom and myself and my husband and my friend and her husband, and like I kept trying to be like, okay, you guys need to understand that the whole point of this game is to be as offensively funny as possible, like that.
Just
Like,
get that out of
and
the way.
It gets really offensive. Like, you need to understand. And they were like, okay, yeah, it'll be fine. And then at one point, so we all had a few drinks and we're playing, and at one point it was like, that's right, I killed blank. How, you ask? Blank. And my best friend, who's kind of a bit tight-laced, she put in, that's right, I killed a tiny horse. How, you ask? Coat hanger abortions. And we all were like, whoa! Like, we all lost it. And my stepmom was the card czar, and she was like, you win! But she, like, threw the cards at her. She was
Burn
like,
these.
that was so bad, but you win. Like, it was hilarious. And then we played that the first night, and then, like, all the rest of the games, none of them were as funny or, like,
Nearly
easy.
entertaining.
None of them were as easy. It was all like, complicated crap, and you gotta move your thing and pick the
Life.
thing. So we were all just like,
Boggle.
so we were all just like, let's play Cards Against Humanity again.
The thing is, like, a little while after I first played Cards Against Humanity, I actually played a genuine game of apples to apples, and it was the most grueling thing I've ever gone through.
No, yeah.
Because everyone's just like, a thing you find at camping, and it's like a tent. And I'm like, oh god,
Which one's the
it's
most
too
one?
easy. I just
Yeah.
nothing's, and I'm trying to find offensive answers. There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Your face. So for the last Christmas, I bought Cards Against Humanity and then all the expansions for my dad.
I'm buying it for my best friend for this
Oh,
Christmas.
the big long
yeah.
box or the?
Spoiler.
Well, before that came out, I bought them separately.
She's
But
not on the internet.
the worst part of it, like I played it with my parents when I went to visit for Christmas, and the worst part of it was seeing how good my mom is at it. And I was just like, "Stop it, Mom!" And she's like, "No."
Yeah.
She's like the filthiest shit. I'm like,
That was my stepmom
Same
too, especially
Yeah.
when she had had a few drinks in her. She was like, and we were like, who was that?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you have that stark realization. You're like, all right, my parents are human beings.
Right, they were young ones.
Yeah.
You know, like.
My dad kept he kept like making it political. Like, I don't know, he kept getting like political figures and then weird. And he was like, but that's true. That's funny because it's true.
It almost sounds like if you were to try to play that game with like a Fox News commentator, it's like blah 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 blank, and it's like, well, the liberals.
Alright.
Wow, but we'll just wait and see.
And like, that's really funny. It's like, I'm not joking.
Today,
That's tomorrow's headline right there.
Yeah.
Today, my favorite combination I had, like the one I picked, is because the answer wasn't offensive, but it was just really endearing to me. Because they're just like, my parents are hiding this from me, and the person submitted really hot soup. And I was just like, oh, they're like hiding it from the kids because they don't want them. That's so nice. It's just like they're
Let us
actively
see this.
hiding the soup from their children because it's too hot. And I'm like,
gotta
that's
get
so
this away from
nice.
them.
Yeah.
That's why I like that game though, because it's like you're picking a funny one, but you're also trying to go to the taste of the person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're trying to read
Exactly.
them.
So of course he picked that one because it's cute. He wouldn't go for the most offensive,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I thought it's just ludicrously endearing to me.
But then sometimes people want to pick the offensive one to root out whoever
Yeah.
put it down.
I'm gonna make a note of that for them whenever I play with him.
Okay.
Whenever he's up, it's like, what
Sweet.
killed this guy? Blank. I'm just like, teddy bears.
Right, my Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh God, no! Someone actually posted it's an anime gif of the stormtroopers running down the hallway, and Han's head is replaced with a fox head running after them all. I'm like, no.
What did you watch today? Somebody made a dancing animation?
Oh yeah, no, there's like some like amazing French animator had animated just like all the characters, but like they're all like super bouncy, like you know like the potato sack animations that you do like when you're like first starting out, like but it was so smooth and animated. They're all just like, hey, let's have a dance party, and they're just like they have like the scary heads, but in a cute way. Like I don't know, it was really cute. I replugged it. You have to see it.
I'll
It's
check it out.
super cute. But no, it's just
The part that bothers me is it literally took like a day for porn to be made of that game, and I'm just like,
Rule was it 34?
Rule 34.
Yeah.
Rule 34, man. It's
That's
it's a thing.
why Tumblr? Stop it.
What's Rule 34?
Tumblr's motto is
If
why the
it
fuck not?
exists,
Yeah.
there is porn of it.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be anything.
What's the gender bent rule?
63.
63.
Oh,
Yes.
that's clear now.
Oh,
They recently
I don't know
announced-
why I know all these things.
They recently announced they had a PG trailer for the Doctor Who parody porn, and it's like all the doctors are in it, so it's actually quite impressive.
Like the old ones.
I don't know if they go that far back, but it's like
Listen, if they no,
The first one is like
listen. All I'm gonna and I don't know shit about Doctor Who. This is all based off the stuff that I see on the internet. If they really want to sell that fucking porn parody, then they should just make it so all the doctors are having sex with each other. And Tumblr.
I could watch that.
Yeah.
It would lose their shit.
No, I'm just saying Tumblr would explode, and that company would be like the richest.
BBC,
Yeah, I don't know.
the British Broadcasting.
But it would have to actually be the actors, not like the.
No, it
And then
could
they
be
have to
lookalikes.
stop in
Sherlock
London
Holmes.
and then Sherlock Holmes.
Because there's been
Yeah.
cosplay,
God.
really good cosplays. People do like hug and they lose their crap, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna be rich.
ideas.
To cleanse that palate, we got Glenn saying, y'all should form your very own version of S Club 7.
What's S Club
like
7?
Shanahanigans.
What's S Club 7?
What's S Club 7?
What have you done?
Adam, no!
Oh, the British. I don't know. There was 7.
I know you have S Club.
I just realized there is, wait, two
To
things.
show you have.
Two freaky things, two freaky things.
Party like an S Club party. Yeah, I remember.
So I just realized I didn't actually count. There is in fact 7 of us, so good night, Glenn. But
Oh my
secondly,
God.
we are seated in an inverted 7.
This is a Silent Hill puzzle. Kojima set this up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Everything in the background was actually placed.
Yeah.
Very
For a
strategic.
clue.
Sounds about right.
That's a load of shite. He's just making it up as he goes along. He's fine.
That's what every good artist does. Just make it up.
What's the
Yeah.
next question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was on was
Ask me more questions, people.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got Sarah saying, me and my sister played Cards Against Humanity with a sleeping baby a few feet away. I hope my nephew is not damaged.
That's not a question.
But a statement and a good one.
It's a good one.
That's right. Yeah.
I have children.
Subconsciously,
Trust me,
those
they're
those
fine.
thoughts are now in his brain.
good.
Well, I got
They're
corrected
not
on
ruined yet.
the
Shit in
last
his
name.
bucket. Because that's
Well,
what he's going to be drinking of.
Chelsea corrected me saying, Buchert is pronounced Beckert. Thank you.
Beckert.
Yeah.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
Chelsea. I actually know her. She's actually a super awesome artist. But yeah, sorry, Chelsea.
From a while back, Claire also said A+ accent. Winky face.
Thank you very much.
From way a while back, Chelsea said hello, everyone.
Bye.
Hello, Chelsea.
Chris said something about apples. Apples, which we gone over, and something about the name thing works, says Chelsea. So this is all stuff we missed. I apologize. But if you do write comments and questions, we will get to it. And if you have any more, we'd love to tackle every topic. That's
Every single
all out
one.
there.
Oh.
That's one
You
of the
talking about
bigger
FanExpo?
Yeah, what are you guys up to for FanExpo?
Mm.
Nothing.
Not going.
Hey.
Like, yeah, so out of us, who's actually going? Are you going?
I'm going on Saturday with a couple friends.
Awesome.
We're in a, how do you, is it 501st or 501?
But
You're gonna be a stormtrooper too?
I am not.
Kim's
Kim
got
and
her.
Jeff are.
Oh,
So I have friends coming in from
Are they
Ottawa.
both?
Are we gonna get to meet Kim finally?
On the
Yeah,
Sunday.
that is the
That's what
barbecue.
He doesn't read
Next
the
Sunday.
events.
There's another
It's on
barbecue.
Sunday. That's what that is.
Where you're gonna be tricked on our podcast, our new podcast.
Yeah, you guys just keep getting like tricked in.
Oh,
No,
I see
we're
how
actually
this
just
is.
boozing and drinking and barbecuing that day.
With some stormtroopers.
Also,
That
I will
sounds
be
pretty
there on
good,
Saturday.
actually.
Yeah.
It's a good sell.
Well, we have a table,
Yes, we
and
do.
it's actually both our first time doing FanExpo.
FanExpo Toronto. That's right.
Cool.
This is actually.
I've attended for 60. I've attended since before it was FanExpo.
I think that's the
What was
first
the
one we went
first
to.
Expo?
It was just an anime con. I don't even remember what it
No,
was
it
called.
was-
It was FanExpo.
No, it wasn't FanExpo.
No,
It was
it wasn't.
called. Oh God, what was it? All right, trivia time, guys. What
Yeah,
was
what was
FanExpo originally
FanExpo
called?
before it was
I know
FanExpo?
this because it was only FanExpo within like the last 7 years.
We went
Yeah,
to
I
FanExpo
started
called
going. My
FanExpo,
first
right?
one, I was 16, so that was 16
You know
years
what?
ago.
Was it just like
It
a
was really
con?
confusing because it was like multiple cons together. Because
It
it was like Toronto Anime Con, Toronto Sci-Fi Con, Toronto
Yeah, that's
Horror
what they
Comic
merged
Con,
it.
Toronto Horror Con.
But they didn't
And
add horror,
then
no, because I was there the first year they added horror because I won the horror.
There was
category.
3 in the beginning. It was anime, sci-fi, comics.
Comic-Con, yeah.
Then horror was kind of the fourth. Then
Yeah.
they loosely added games, was mostly tabletop, and now it's like full-on video games.
Yeah.
And now it's wrestlers and sports.
Yeah.
Adam's gonna say something.
What?
So I have a question for the group.
Yeah.
So we were mentioning like FanExpo's coming up, and you guys have tables and stuff. And I know like I didn't go last year, and I'm not going to go this year. Like I've kind of fallen out of love with it.
A few people have that.
Fair enough.
too.
Fair enough.
Crowds are scary.
It's not even the crowds. It's
Underground
just,
garages are scary.
Spirals of darkness into
Yeah.
nothing.
It's just
full of people. It's
like
scary.
I love TCAF, and I'm falling in love with Taffy, and then I went to like those are very specific, but like for the more like fan, like it's more about fandoms. My wife and I went to Con Bravo.
I was
this year.
there. I had a table there.
Oh, at Con Bravo this year?
Yeah, I did.
I probably saw you then.
Probably.
But I
was there with
actually-
Megan and Megan. Megan Cardi
Megans.
and Megan Carter. We had a studio table.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Well, all I know is I had a really, really, really good time at Con Bravo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've gone. This was my 3rd year tabling at it. It was actually my first Canadian con after moving back from the UK, and so I don't know. I really love it. Every time I talk to the attendees, like they really enjoyed it. It's so laid back. Tons of fun stuff to do. It does. The guests tend to gravitate more towards the video, like the gaming
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like they had JonTron this year, and they always have the Nostalgia Critic and stuff like that. But the panels are great, and it's always a fun con.
Yeah.
So, and I know some of the organizers, and they really want to make it not just a good experience for the attendees and the guests, but for even the exhibitors. You know,
Yeah.
you feel very taken care of, and
That's
so
good. That's
if
super
it
We
happens-
went to school with some of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark Chan and everybody.
Yeah.
Well, like if you follow Mark on all his like Twitters and Tumblrs, he's always just reporting on everything he learns from different cons. It's
Yeah.
fascinating just to see how he's applying that to make Con Bravo as strong as it is.
Yeah,
and
he
keep
does.
It, like
Like, because
safe,
even
pure,
like on
yeah.
Tumblr, I'll reblog like an experience that happened to somebody else at a con, and he'll reblog it and either add commentary or like that he's seen it and he's read through it and he takes it into account, kind of thing. What
It's
was
been-
good, what was bad.
It's been cool to see them go from like
Yeah,
really small to like
yeah.
this
Like
year.
this year was over almost 5,000
Yeah.
attendees.
Wow.
But the reason why I bring all this up is because like I know personally I don't want to be super negative about FanExpo. So the question I pose to all of you is, what is your favorite FanExpo memory?
Oh, go for it.
Yeah.
So in 2009, I came back. I was living in Scotland, but I came back around FanExpo time, and I was like, because I'm coming back, I'm going to go to FanExpo. But I had my son with me who wasn't 2 yet, so I had him in the buggy. But he was that age where like he can walk, so he didn't want to be in the buggy, but because of FanExpo, because of and that was the year.
Hordes.
Well, that was the year they went over the fire code, and people with VIP passes got locked out.
Oh, that was awful.
But because I had the buggy, like we got to go in this like side door and stuff. Like I got in, but then it was horrible because you're walking like this with a screaming kid in a buggy, and so we kind of left halfway through the day. I said to my friend, I'm like, we got to cut it short. We got to get out of here, kind of thing. Again, because we had the buggy, I could take the elevators. So we go into the elevator with the buggy and everything. We're standing in the elevator, and an arm comes in, and it's a handler, and it's Billy D. Williams.
Oh.
And so he walks into the elevator, and my friend and I are like,
You gotta sing.
and then he saw my son who had passed out at that point, and he's like, I have a granddaughter that age, and I'm going, hi, and he's like, we have to put her in the car to get her to sleep. I'm like, me, and like, part of me's like, I don't like when they're away from their tables and like this is their own space. I don't want to be
that person.
I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
But part of me feels like we kind of walked out of that elevator and he was like, those girls had no idea who the fuck I was.
Aww.
Like I wish I at least said, it was nice to meet you, Mr. Lawrence.
No, you should have said when he came in, like, oh, that's got a granddaughter. You should have been, you got a lot of nerve. I'm like, what? Come here, you son of a bitch.
No, it was delight, and then you think like it must be nice for them to have a normal conversation kind of thing, and but I feel like because I didn't acknowledge, like I do know who you are, and I'm wow.
I'm sure he knew though when you were like,
I hope so, because I felt really ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird, but it was also awesome. And then Stanley was behind us on the escalator last year.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Which it was weird because everybody was turning around and we were like, what?
Yeah, that you don't want to. You're just like,
I just
like,
want to be.
let's take a selfie.
Just checking my. It was So there's been a couple of brush-ins with celebrities and stuff at FanExpo, which is tons of fun.
I think my first FanExpo was my favorite, just because it was like that new experience, and like we had just come from out of college, being like, oh my god, look at all this stuff, it's everywhere. And that was also the year that Paul Dini came unannounced, and so I was like, I'm gonna get in line and have him sign my book, and that was all like new experience to me too. And he was great because he just like kind of showed up and he got into the line and was like, hi everybody, how you doing? I'm Paul Dini. We're like, oh fuck, you're Paul Dini. And then he's just like, I am. And then he went to his table, and it was great because I mean, I've told you this story before, but I have this book called Batman Animated, and it's like all the artwork, all the model sheets. It's just like awesome. And I got up there and I was like in my second or first year of Sheridan. Do you remember?
Yeah, roughly.
One of those two. And then I was just, I get up there and I'm like, hi, Paul Dini, you're working on Batman, and you're doing all that stuff, and I'm in animation, too, and I want to work in animation and stuff, and I would love to work at Warner Bros., because that'd be awesome, because you guys make all these great shows. And he just kind of was like, yeah, the Warner Bros. You want to work at is dead, and it died about 6 years ago. I was like, oh.
Not to crush your dreams or anything.
Yeah, I was like, thanks for keeping it real, Dini. Got run back into these guys. How was it? I'm like, great. Go home.
Crush my dream.
So I think for me, I have two. One was when we went.
Press pass.
So when we were in the middle, we were 100 and some episodes into doing the Guys with Pencils podcast, and Andrew's like, I'm going to apply for a press pass to FanExpo, and I was like, fine, we're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Whatever, who cares? And I literally was just like, and then I was just went back to what I was doing. And then a couple of days later, he's like, we got press passes to FanExpo. And I was like, are you fucking serious? And he's like, yeah. So we got the press passes in the mail, and we're walking around with our little Zoom mic, and we show up, we get the press passes. You see these huge lineups going around the corner to get in, and they're right this way, and then we go in the side. There's no lineups. We just walk right in. I remember at one point we grabbed somebody to interview them, and we went to go walk behind the celeb curtains, and the security guard was like, you can't come back here, and then we showed him the pass, and he's like, right this way, sir. And I'm like, somebody just said right this way, sir, to me.
It was like come and go as you please.
Yeah, we never waited in a lineup once. Yeah. We got to go backstage and do whatever we wanted. It was fucking rad.
And
scam them.
Right.
Start a blog.
And
I'm
something to
starting a
look to.
podcast. That's it.
Just to
I
get.
sent them the link. I was like, well, this is our podcast. I don't think anyone checked it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it came back in the mail, and then when we went to line up. Well, there was a small lineup with other
Yeah.
press.
I just want to say.
Real press that had cameras and mics, and we were just like, hi, we're from that podcast. And
Yeah, I just want to say, to be fair, we did cover it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole episode about us talking to the people.
Yeah.
We talked to this dude that came all the way from Australia. You know what I mean? We just talked to the fans, which was great. My other favorite memory is getting to meet Clive Barker.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And I was still in school.
Did he tell you to keep it real and Dini?
No, so I basically went up there and I had my books of blood and stuff, and I had a copy of I had a copy of Hellraiser, and I was like, hey, Mr. Barker. I think I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Mr. Barker, I'm a big fan of your work, and I just want to say that like I'm going to art school and you inspire me to create. And he just goes, you know, that right there is worth more to me than any
Millions of I love you books.
Yeah, he's like any you know, paychecks or you know,
So
like
sweet.
he's
That's
like
cool.
never stop creating. And I'm like, I want to make out with you right now.
Right there.
She's like, okay, stop.
Yeah.
Those responses I get. Yeah, well, what place you want to work at? Dead.
Animation.
Yeah, he was so sweet.
Animation.
He was so sweet, and I've met people at FanExpo that you're like, this is gonna be rad, and it's like they're assholes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate that. I just like especially if you totally admire like an artist, or even like an actor or something, and you meet them in real life and you're all excited, you're like, I love all your stuff, I collect everything, and you meet them and they're just so like either cold or just rude.
It's one of the reasons why I didn't go last year to see Mike Mignola. I was like, I fucking adore that dude's work.
Yeah.
Like I'm like everybody, but like I can't get enough of what he does, and I was just like, I heard he can be kind of crabby because he's an older dude and he works a lot. And,
Yeah, I've met him. Yeah.
yeah, and I've heard in interviews he's like, I'd rather just be in my workshop drawing.
Yeah,
That's all he
totally.
wants.
And that's fine.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm just not gonna put myself
Mar
in this
that
situation.
experience.
Like,
Right.
I need him to be what he is in my head.
Yeah, absolutely.
My very, very first FanExpo when I was 16, I actually, this is so embarrassing, I cosplayed as my own OC Sailor Moon character.
It's kind of awesome, though.
That's wicked.
I was Sailor Devil.
That's kind of awesome.
Because I could only find a black bodysuit to make the outfit. And I had shaved my head and dyed it purple, and like, but I was so excited, and people were like taking pictures of me, which was awesome. And then in 2005, I graduated from, I was still going to Complexions International because I'm a makeup artist as well. And so I was like, we're doing this year, guys. Sorry, I had graduated 2005. So I made my own vampire teeth. And I did my boyfriend up as Darth Maul. I did a sculpted bald cap and everything and painted him up.
Nice.
And then I did my friend up as a zombie with a giant wooden spike coming out of his head. And I put a sign around his neck that said, please do not feed the zombie. And I like led him around on a leash, like as a vampire with her own pet zombie. And I had a riding crop. And that was the first year that they were doing horror, or one of the very first anyway. So we entered the masquerade in the horror category, and because there weren't that many, so we got up on stage, and what's his name was emceeing it like he does every year, and so my friend went after him, and I had to like fight him back with the riding crop, like, and then I was like, Spike, what did I say? I was like, Spike, up, and he kind of did like a dancing bear thing, because he was a huge guy, and he went like, rah, and then I went, Spike, speak, and he went. And he like took this huge breath in the auditorium, and he went, brains, like this, and the audience went nuts, like they just went absolutely mental. And then I went, Spike, play dead, and he went, and we won. We came the next day and they announced the winners, and we had won the horror category, and so we won like all sorts of signed Buffy and Angel stuff.
Cool.
Signed George A. Romero stuff, and like obscure indie horror DVDs, and like all sort of like this whole swag bag of stuff. And that was a really, really good year, that memory.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Katie?
Me? It's hard because I've been to so many cons, like in my
They just
lots of
blend
years.
all together.
But I do kind of remember just like my first one, because like that was, I think, one of the first time our dad took us to what turned into FanExpo.
Which we haven't figured out the name yet.
Which I don't remember what the name was, but it was the first time, like
I think
being
it's just Toronto Anime Sci-Fi Con.
Comic Con. But being someone that was into anime, like I didn't know a lot of people that were into it, or comics. Like I was the only person in my class, as far as I knew, who was into all that stuff. So it felt like a very something I only did at home with the family, like because you were into comics and anime, and Dad was into comics and anime, and no one else I knew was into it. But then you go to this convention, and everybody is really excited about it, and there's all these books you haven't even heard of, and there's all these people in costume. And we went to a screening of an anime series called Trigun, and it was like a packed room, and it was just like sitting in a room with people who were all laughing along to like this show, and I was like, this is great. Like this actually feels like a real community of people that are because you feel kind of lonely when you don't know a lot of people that are into it, and then you find a convention.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Well,
this is amazing. This is what these are for.
especially like when we were kids, there wasn't really the internet.
Yeah. Well, anime is so popular and out there right now. Like my sister and a whole bunch of people in her high school were into it, but like literally.
We were kids. We had to go uphill in the snow to get our anime.
Yeah.
We had to go to an Angel Fire website.
Yeah.
And it had a little chibi Sailor Moon
You
walking
go to
around.
your Sailor Moon shrine.
And it played the MIDI. I had
Bootleg VHS.
I had Angel Fire,
Yeah.
Sailor Angel, Sailor Moon Heaven, and I had I'd collected all of the scans of the art books. And
Yeah,
all
Yeah.
I had stuff like that. Too.
Yeah.
yeah, and it played the German Sailor Moon theme MIDI.
Like
Oh.
MIDI.
Oh my god, you're so much nostalgia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
FanExpo.
I don't really have any experiences.
Well, then you should go this.
You've never been there?
She can tell us Saturday then.
Yeah, you can tell us.
Yeah.
Last year we went at the very end to go help Sam and Sarah bring back their anthology books.
Those are
Oh.
And that was about
That was
like
it? It's a
my
labor.
only
It was
experience.
labor.
Yeah. They were all tired and we were just like, well, pick up your books in our car. Like,
My favorite memory is when my friends made me work for free.
Oh.
we're
My
back
only
to
memory of
Yeah. What about you, bro?
I think the thing is, I have more memories from Anime North because that was a lot more personal to me. Because I think the smaller scale of it made it more accessible, and like
Yeah.
you were
Yeah,
running
fair.
around with people like your own age who like
Mhm.
once again were like into the same thing as you were, kind of just running into a panel room, sitting down, and like asking them questions, and just it was like basically because we never, we only really went to one day of FanExpo. We go on the Saturday or whatever, and then go home. But Anime North is you stay there for the 3 days, and it becomes this whole other world that you just got used to. And once you left, you're like, oh, there's trees outside the airport, or something like that. And it's all
Normal
gray
people
now.
with their Starbucks and their
But I love
ducky.
like the color of the costumes when you come driving in. It's like
Yeah.
you see the first people in costumes, and that's the whole
Yeah.
weekend.
And then you
Like,
just get
Anime
so
North
excited.
It's probably the most
Yeah.
exciting convention experience. But like as far as like FanExpo, I only have like one kind of visual that's always stuck with me. It's this one time when like they always do like a 501st procession, like they all show up.
Yeah.
And I got somewhere where they were just setting up, and like it was just a neat visual that was at the bottom of the escalators, and the whole set of escalators was all stormtroopers. And there wasn't the music, but in my head it's dum 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 dum, just like let them pass, all 500 of them kind of walk by. It was just really
The
impressive.
other year, there was the actor who played the Emperor in the Star Wars movies there, and he was doing some signings and stuff like that. And there was also the artist who did a lot of original concept art for Star Wars, like back in the 70s.
Cool.
And the dude who played the Emperor wanted to go, I guess, say hi to him. And to fucking get him through the crowd, he had a circle of stormtroopers basically
That's
walking
right.
around.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
and then we're just like, that's the fucking Emperor.
Yeah.
But he's like,
Star
casual.
Wars
It's
in real
casual
life.
Emperor. And then he went and like
Casual
stormed.
Saturdays.
And so when he
on
went
the
to go,
Death Star.
because the guy had a booth, like the artist had a booth, and so like when he got there, they were chit-chatting, and the stormtroopers all faced their backs to them, and so like they were facing outward in a half circle. Yeah, and it was just like,
funny is
that's
that
so awesome.
for that
So,
artist
yeah.
though, we're out of the crowd, you see these stormtroopers showing
Yeah.
up, and then they form rank, and then the Emperor
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
forward. Like,
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
imagine being the stormtroopers? Like, yes, this is what I was made for.
Like,
Like, it's
everyone's
just
like,
so
yeah, it would have
good.
been crazy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
It would have been even better if he ended it like he just goes, oh, hey, how's it going? You know, he's just like, die. He's like, you can't do that. I know.
Someone had special effects to this.
Someone just takes like a taser into one of the stormtroopers. Yeah, that's right.
cattle prod.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I keep these guys around. To Starbucks now. I want a frappuccino.
I feel like I need to give Anime North another chance. I only went once and I hated it.
It's like nowadays I feel like it's
I feel
very
like-
youthy though.
Yeah,
like,
I feel
at
like
the time we
I'm-
went was
Anime
kind of the time.
Twitch was
I feel
very
slightly
easy.
too old for anime. I've never been. I've always missed it somehow in all my years of being in the Toronto area and all my like attending. I actually applied for the Artist Alley this year, but I didn't get in because it's full lottery or whatever.
Yeah.
But
You did a comic about that, about like getting too old for anime.
Yeah,
It's
you start
not
to feel
just-
it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, at first it was like I didn't wear a costume one year, and then I was like the mom of the group, where once people want to take a picture, everybody will give me the
holding all the
bags.
stuff.
So you're walking around with
Attacking.
everyone's bags while they're all being cute, and taking pictures. So I'm like, I don't want to be this. I
Lady.
want to be the bag lady. Like, forget
Yeah,
the bag
last
lady.
year,
Then these
none
other
of
moms
my
start
friends.
talking to you, and you're just
I'm
like,
like,
don't talk to me.
Oh, simply darling. Your little one there. You're like, oh no!
He's our sister.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue that I have with it is because, like, if you go to a place like Con Bravo or whatever, like, there's a variety of things. So, like, there's going to be something. Like, Con Bravo, I bought a Scotch glass with the Venture Industries logo on it. Like, there's my kind of stuff there.
Yeah.
With Anime North, like, I grew up on anime, but I've kind of, like, grown out of it.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, I don't know if it was just a year that I went or somebody put a sign on my back, but nobody was respecting personal space.
Oh no, that's part of
Because
it.
everybody was like, glomp, and then they like, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why are these
My hands are up here. My hands are up here.
And I'm like, why
I'll
are
see my hands.
yeah, I'm like, why are all these strangers touching me? Like,
They've actually started to crack down on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Oh,
They've
No
started
they have a
to-
list.
No free
No,
hugs.
no glomping, no yaoi pals, no chains
No
on.
chains,
You know.
no free hugs.
I don't know.
I
any
didn't
of
even
those
know
things.
yaoi paddles existed
Really?
until I saw that
Everywhere.
yeah, what's a yaoi thing?
Yaoi paddles when
Yaoi
you
paddle.
crack someone in the ass with a paddle.
It just
And
says
what's-
yaoi.
And what's
Yeah.
glomp?
Glomping is
Like what
hugging.
you just did.
It's like,
Yeah,
making
exactly.
it's like making a hug pile. Like,
Yeah, it's like somebody
running and
No.
jumping, and it's
No.
dangerous.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, we would be walking around, and then,
It's
like,
dangerous.
people would just, like, run up to you and then grab you, and just,
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where's my wallet?
But you know what's horrible is that people do that to other people in costume who have these beautifully intricate costumes.
Because it's a
And
character
they
they're really excited about.
And they were like excited about it. They're like, oh wow, you're so awesome. And they'll run up and they'll jump on them and they'll be like, dude, I don't even know you, first of all. And second of all,
you're fucking up my costume.
my costume.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
back off.
Yeah, personal space.
Personal
Consent,
space.
folks. God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, now
Cosplay is
That's
not
what the
even
main thing is
consent.
now.
Cosplay
That's
is
why I was
not
really
consent.
impressed with Emerald City because they actually
Yes.
had the sign saying
Yeah.
cosplay does not equal consent.
Yeah.
Like they're finally
Con
taking it
Bravo has
seriously.
them.
We've had those
Yeah.
signs up at a bunch of anime conventions back in Vancouver for the last few years, and I
Good.
think it's starting to catch on. It
Yeah.
started to catch on. It was
Yeah.
just great.
Well, because wasn't FanExpo the one being like the winter one? It was
There
like
was
you know,
cuddly
come in,
cosplayer.
get warm from the cold, and cuddle a cosplayer.
Oh
and you're
my
like,
god. They had a big backlash on that though. They had to they had to
you
clarify
won't.
with consent,
Yeah.
consent.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even so, like cosplayers aren't there for you to cuddle.
Yeah, they're not a product of the
Come on.
It's not even
con.
something you walk up and ask a stranger.
Hey,
don't
do you
go,
mind if I?
Can I cuddle you?
Mhm.
No.
I don't mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Consent.
Consent. Yeah. Hands up.
Last year, because a lot of my friends have the same, because I just moved back in 2012, so I'm all still like, FanExpo. But a lot of my friends are burnt out from FanExpo. They're like, it's too big, and there's too much stuff going on, and I
Well,
can't
it's
get
all-
the time off, and
You
stuff
live in
like
the
that.
city. And
So last year, I went by myself on the Saturday, and I went as Pizzazz from Gem. I way back cosplay. But then I kept running into people, and they were like, "There's a gem here, you know." And I was like, and then we ran into each other, it was like through the crowd. It was like slow motion. You're truly outrageous. And then the minute we met, it was like a whole circle formed, and everybody was like click, 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 and we were like, we had microphones. We were screaming at each other and doing all this stuff, and then we were just like, okay, bye. And then everybody's like, you guys don't know each other? They freaked out that we weren't together. We
That's
just
awesome.
separately
I
cosplayed
really
two
enjoy
characters.
that stuff. Like with the Anime North one year, a bunch of us went as the villains from an anime called Soul Eater,
Mhm.
and it was just fun because it was you bump into the heroes of the
Yeah.
anime, and you'd be like, "Oh, you guys!"
Yeah.
And then you'd all be posing, and people would again
It's a
come take
photo
pictures.
op.
Well, that's kind of fun. You get into the character, and that's fun. That's kind of like a little
Hey,
bit of
there was
acting
one time,
stuff.
this has nothing to do with cosplay. I don't know, were you there for this? But we were walking back from the Raba back to Sheridan one night, and there were these kids sitting on, well, not kids, but other students coming from the residence, and we were coming back. And just for, I don't know if we just caught each other at the right moment and think the same thing, but we just, on our side, we started going, and then they started doing that on the other side. And it was just you guys. It was just if someone
That's
was watching from a
amazing.
bus stop, they were like, shit's about to get wet.
Someone's gonna
Turf
Yeah.
turf dance. It was really fucking funny.
I think that's another. We are friends now.
Yeah, yeah,
situation.
well,
You have so much in common.
Yeah,
No, I will never see you again.
No, we never did.
Yeah.
We'll start wrapping up because it's getting a little late here, but we have one more couple things left. We got Chelsea saying.
We have one more couple things left.
couple hundred.
We got
bucks.
Chelsea saying butts.
But
Thank you. And Matthew Pritchard with a vote of 2, saying heard a certain female storyboard artist's birthday is this Sunday.
Yes.
Any big plans?
What?
I'm going to her barbecue. Barbecue!
I didn't know you had an
I
audience
didn't know
birthday.
that.
I didn't know you were born. That's awesome.
It's the end of, I'm turning 31 on the 31st.
What? That's like the only time that'll happen. I
Yeah.
already
Are
turned.
you guys younger than me?
Well, I already turned 2
Yeah.
on the 2, so I'm
You
done.
turned 2 on the 2, so you're good.
22 on the 2.
01.
Yeah, that's
22.
what you get. My birthday's on the 4th.
Yeah.
I have
It's
those.
it's called your champagne
What?
birthday.
It's our champagne birthday. I
Hey.
drink
You
champagne.
turn the
So any
age.
plans? No plans?
Just barbecue and,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, I just like hanging out.
Cool. All right. Well, I
Thank
guess
you,
if we're all,
Matthew.
it's getting late, so if we're all good to wrap up about now, let's get the rundown of who's who. Where can we find everyone on their Twitters and Tumblrs? Go.
Oh, okay. Well, I am known everywhere as Jakface. So Jakface.tumblr, Jakface.deviantart. I have a webcomic. It's called Woohoo, as in woohoo. It's literally woohoocomic.com. Check it out. It's awesome.
So fun.
Yeah, that's me. So check it out. Check it out.
I love the city in Woohoo. I want to go there.
It's basically the Pacific Northwest. It's
Yeah.
literally Seattle and Vancouver had a baby.
With
with
neon
fantasy,
and stuff.
with
and-
neon and fantasy elements
Magic.
mixed in.
She's been around Toronto, and she's like, I have to stop and take a picture of this graffiti.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm literally going around Toronto taking pictures of the graffiti to like use in like later like issues.
That's so cool.
There's
I'm
a
gonna
lot of
totally
it.
recognize
I
it.
know, but it's beautiful. Like
Oh, it's
so,
gorgeous.
Like, there's the tags and everything, but
Yeah.
there's actual like gorgeous art.
Did you see the one by Ossington that had Mega Man X?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's also this really sweet Totoro over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see
Oh.
spray.
And there's an Ostrich and Obelix by the grocery store
Oh
over there.
man, well,
Behind that
I
shed.
might not be able to go around, but like if you guys ever see like that really cool like game graffiti, like take pictures for me and like send it to me because
I was gonna say, if you're ever
love
down
that.
Queen Street, there's like one street below the main Queen area. It's just a ton. It's the entire alleyway. It's
Oh
just
really?
filled.
That's the
I've
place
seen a
that
lot of
people call Graffiti
alleyways.
Alley.
Yeah,
Oh,
Queen
yeah.
Alley.
I've seen a lot of yeah.
Is that where Mercer does his rants?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
had one that was like this giant octopus on the side of
Yeah.
the building and all these beautiful colored fish, and it was just so nice and polished and just really pretty. I love
Okay,
it.
who else is here?
So I'm Leslie Doyle, but I'm online as Angel Creations. Angel Creations on Tumblr, where I'm most active. I have a Facebook page. My DeviantArt is Angel-Creations because somebody took the other one. But I think it was me and forgot the password. It might be me. But Angel Creations, and I'll be at FanExpo. We'll be at booth A289.
8289.
Yeah,
We'll be in
so
the South Hall Artist Alley.
come
So
by
come
and
check
say
it
hi.
out.
I do photorealistic paintings, stuff like that.
She's got some really cool Doctor Who stuff.
And you might have a podcast coming out soon called.
Called Ah, You Win. Ah, You Win.
Who are you?
Who are you? Existential crisis.
I'm Michelle Tripp. I'm on Twitter as Shelly_Bean. I don't know my Tumblrs, so just go to the
Tumblrs. You have
Tumblrs.
multiple?
She does.
I do.
You do have a lot of Tumblrs.
I think it's like Mish_Tripp
2 P's.
_comic maybe. But just go to the Twitter.
Could they Google Michelle Tripp and comics
Most
together
likely.
and find?
Yeah. Google. So I'm on Google.
Yeah.
I'll find her on Google.
That's awesome. I'm Andrew Murray. You can find me at meetthemerman.com, and my Twitter handle is @AndrewMerman. And yeah.
I'm Adam Hines. You can find me on Twitter at @AdamIsn'tReal. My Tumblr is AdamIsn'tReal.
You are really
And
wallet.
and
Consent.
and Andrew and I actually
Where's that yowing
and also Andrew and I used to have a podcast called Guys with Pencils that literally ended this week.
Formerly.
So you could go to guyswithpencils.com and check out the archives. It's all like art and animation based because Andrew and I work in the animation industry. We have all sorts of guests. We interviewed Katie and Shaggy more than once. We've had Natasha Allegri be in Puppy Cat. Michelle. We've had
Well, you didn't have me, so
yeah,
there you are.
Steven Silver, like all sorts of folks. We've had Team Meat, like all people from all over the creative spectrum. He directed Cloudy 2, all that kind of stuff.
Meatballs.
You guys are kind of famous, aren't you?
Not really.
Super
I've heard
famous.
So
of
famous that we were
fun.
just like, we should end this.
And
we got
now
that.
we're
Now we're coming down.
Yeah.
It's now people are. Although I did get an email to ask if I could come back to Sheridan to talk to the kids about something.
Oh, I
Are
like.
you gonna crush their dreams too?
Yeah.
Be
That's pretty much
every industry,
crushing your dreams with
Dead.
Andrew Bird.
All
every
dead.
studio you loved.
You're all
Yeah, let me tell you something, kids.
All dead.
I'm just here to tell you one thing only. It's all a lie, pretty much.
You gotta do that. Look to your left. Look to your right.
Right.
None of
That's
you will
right.
have jobs.
Yeah, you know what?
Or any jobs that mean anything.
Look to your left, look to your right. You're all replaceable.
So do your own stuff. Do your own stuff.
Yeah.
Do your own. That's the one thing we learned from like everything. No matter what job you're in, always on the side. Do your own thing. Make your own.
Make your
Do your own podcasts. You know, do all that. Do your own live shows.
No, goddammit, we just got out of the podcast.
Okay. You know, do your own Let's Plays. You know, it's all good. Do everything.
Have fun. Just
Have fun with your
just
stuff.
enjoy.
This was Shanahanigans Live. We got a whole bevy of guests. You know, glad you guys hung out this late. FanExpo, of course, is this weekend. If you're downtown, you might not see any of us. You might see some of us. Stop by booths. I don't know if the rest of us will be there.
Nope.
But follow us online.
We'll
It's
be
Katie
listening.
Shine with the Twitters and the Tumblrs.
Yep.
Shaggy Shan on the Twitters and Tumblrs. This is also, you can follow this stuff on Facebook. Was it Shanahanigans?
Shanahanigans, SHAN,
H-A-N.
IGANS.
S.
Yep.
Yep. Smell like a sound. We usually have a show on Tuesdays around 8 o'clock Eastern, but sometimes we do Wednesdays when we have a barbecue.
Yeah, that was a good
Cool.
It was a good barbecue.
Good time.
Wait, did we have the cake?
You haven't had the
We
cake.
Butterbeer cake?
Butterbeer cake.
I made butterbeer cake.
What the fuck are we still recording?
Let's go.
Flip the script. Let's get out of here. Panic! Panic!
Everybody's making to get the Chronicle.
Put your face back on.